Hello everyone and welcome back to our third video reviewing the Unbroken Bonds cards. Once again, thank you so much to Limitless TCG for providing us with the official set list of Unbroken Bonds. Pretty exciting set, it's the biggest set in Pokemon history, I believe. So we are going to go ahead and take a look at all of the water type cards, starting with Blastoise Gx. It's a stage 2 240 HP. Stage 2 GXs have been going down in play. The last one we really had that was generally viable was Gardevoir GX. People have been giving a genuine shot at Incineroar GX, the dark type one, but I don't believe it's good enough to compete with things like KYUREM and the Speed of Zapdos decks. However, Blastoise GX with its ability Solid Chill, it always takes 30 less damage from attack, so immediately you are going to not be damaged as much by non-GXs and GXs as well, and then you can run things like Choice Helmet in order to further reduce the damage that Blastoise GX takes. Now, Rocket Splash deals 60 damage, and you shuffle as many water energy attached to your Pokemon into your deck as you like. This attack does 60 damage times the number of cards shuffled into your deck this way. So, a bit of synergy I guess with Naganadel. There's nothing else really other than Aqua Patch that allows you to accelerate energy onto Pokemon. So, I'm not sure what the expectation is to be able to synergize with Rocket Splash. Of course, the Big Geyser GX attack allows you to attach as many water energy cards from your hand to your Pokemon in any way you like. But first you have to accumulate a lot of them, right? So obviously there's synergy between the GX attack and the regular attack. However, it just takes way too much setup to be setting up a stage 2 and accumulate a bunch of energy into your hand, especially when there are things like Judge and Let Loose Marshadow in the format, which just immediately shuffle all your efforts away into the deck. So I would not be purchasing this card at all. If I were you guys, it's just not going to be competitive whatsoever. Now next up we have Poliwag. It's a basic Pokemon. Its ability Turning Lymph. If you win second during your first turn, you may leave your opponent's active Pokemon confused. So it's a decent way to try and delay your opponent. It's a decent way to try and make it so that going second isn't that big of a disadvantage for you. But definitely, unless you're playing a dedicated Poliwag Evolutions deck, either Poliwrath or Politoed, then there's no point of taking this card into your deck. However, we do have the Poliwrath 150 HP non-GX with attacks Knuckle Impact dealing 50 damage and then World Rush dealing 90 plus damage if you have any Poliwag or Poliwhirl on your bench. So for that attack cost, it's actually pretty cost effective. If this were a stage 1, then it would be an amazing card, but being the setup you require for the stage 2 just doesn't seem worth it, because even though 180 damage is a fantastically high number, it's just not high enough anymore in today's format, and there are much more better water type Pokemon out there. Now next up we have Tentacle, which has an interesting attack, Flying Bubble Jutsu, dealing 10 plus, and I think we can see a trainer in the back, which I believe is either Janine or Koga, right? Where if you play Janine from your hand during this turn, this attack does 50 more damage. So 60 damage for one colorless energy, not bad, but nothing to write home about either. Next up we have Tentacruel. With its Wicked Tentacle attack, you move one energy from one of your opponent's Pokemon and move it to another of their Pokemon, and then you put 3 damage counters on the Pokemon you move the energy to. So it is a way to disrupt your opponent, moving energy from one Pokemon to another useless Pokemon, potentially like Marshadow or Oranguru or Jirachis, things like that. But the fact that you don't remove the energy is a bit less than impressive. And then the second attack is just nothing to write home about. 60 damage, Poliwag coin if hits, your opponent's active Pokemon is now paralyzed. You do have Victini to combine with that, but 60 damage is just way too low, and this is more of a pre-release type of card. Finally, we have KYUREM, basic Pokemon, and doesn't seem too impressive at first, but there is a lot of really nice water type support. First off, 130 HP, pretty nice amount for an GX. And then Cold Call, you search your deck for a water energy and attach it to this Pokemon. So it's self-sufficient, it powers itself up. And then we have the Hail Prison attack, which deals 110 damage and you discard 2 water energy from this Pokemon. And your opponent's active Pokemon is now paralyzed. So the consistent paralysis is potentially really good. Right now we are in a format where Switch, Escape Rope, and Guzma are being heavily played, so the paralysis might not be as impactful as you could want it, yeah? And I believe that is why they made it auto paralysis, right? Otherwise the attack would be very underwhelming, but with the support of Nagnadel recuperating energy from the discard pile and then Quagsire moving them back onto KYUREM, you do get a pretty solid attacker where perhaps you can run them out of ways to switch out of the paralysis, right? And that's what you would be counting on, because 110, even though it's a very solid number for the cost of 3 energies, it's just not that high considering we are dealing with 270, 240 basic HP Pokemon. So a bit of a mix here. It's a really balanced card, I would say, and that is its issue, because something like Pigrom or Zapdos are very unbalanced cards, and that is what makes them incredibly powerful. But KYUREM is actually pretty balanced in its own right, and therefore it's just not going to be making the splash that you would want it to in the current metagame, but it does have the potential to be included in Quack decks as another option, as another decent hitter. And so that will conclude our water type Pokemon. Sorry about the cut earlier. I had a little bit of an issue in between looking at this last card, but thank you so much for watching, guys. Don't forget to leave a like, it really helps out the channel. I hope you guys will be back tomorrow for our lightning type review, and I will see you guys next time. And if you have a chance, let me know in the comments down below, what do you think about this like more bite-sized reviews of the Unbroken Bonds cards? I could have done one huge long video on all the cards at once, but I feel like the average viewership on YouTube is actually not that high, which is why I'm experimenting with this much shorter videos. Let me know your thoughts. I do appreciate all the feedback, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for more lightning type Unbroken Bonds cards.